Oh, I'm back. I'm on the screen already. Hello there. Hello, Spurs fans. Paul the Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet. I hope you're all well today. Here's me trying to look like a professional streamer with professional lighting. I'm just shining this bloody thing in my face. So that's why I'm squinting. It'll take me a while to get used to it. I've just woken up. Looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. It's a cold day. I thought I saw a kangaroo this morning. I rubbed my eyes, looked out the window. I thought, oh, I'll take a picture of that. And it was just a log. So, you know, oh, well, there you go. I did have a look through Twitter, but I can see there's a few of you in here with stuff to say. So bugger the Twitter gallery. Let's have a look at you lot. Oh, my hair's just a mess, isn't it? Oh, no. Here we go. We have got David Clark. Hello from Leicester. Hi, Leicester. Hi, David. I spent many a happy hour in Willie Thorne's snooker club when I should have been studying mathematics at Sheffield Uni, but I had a mate who went to Leicester Poly and he led me astray. It's his fault. It's your fault, Dan. Although in repayment, I did get him into Spurs, and now all his kids are Spurs fans, the poor buggers. So, you know, there is karma in the universe. Wayne Bonner. Hi, hey, Paul, how you doing? Good, man. Things looking interesting in the transfer market. Vicario excites me. There's a fresh start on the horizon. Yeah, now I did see a couple of things on Twitter. I think there was a quote by Jose Mourinho saying, "Oh, you look like the best goalkeeper in the world," and an Italian keeper who seemed to be their keeper for like 50 years, Buffon, said he's going to follow in his footsteps, basically. So yeah, I'm getting a bit excited about the whole Vicario. I'm just going to turn the heater up. It's bloody freezing. What's exciting me, I did a video about this yesterday, is I'm not seeing the usual, feistiness on Twitter, people arguing over it. There's a little bit of different opinion, but no one's being a real twat about it. So yeah, I think I'm excited. I was excited about Raya, but I'm excited about Vicario. Raya, who? Never heard of him. Hey, Sheriff, hope you're well. I'm all well and dandy, man. All well and dandy. Darius Vasiliankatis, Yasu, LRA, big up, Paul. Hope you're okay. I am. Thank you very much, man. Fistikos, come on, you Spurs. Drewzilla, smash a like, you hippie loving generate. So there's only 13 people. Don't go all smash. Why do people have to smash it anyway? You know, I'm a peace loving man. Just, you know, if you are gonna do it, just caress it gently. But you know, that's up to you. I'm not gonna ask you all to do that. Big up to you all, says Drewzilla, audio artisan. Evening, brother. Hope the music production's going well. Hope they're paying you a fair wage for your skill and your art and creativity, and not just buggering you around with AI and shit like that. The world needs much more art and far less science. It's one thing that gives my goat whenever I hear this phrase, oh, Spurs are looking at a data-driven approach for recruitment. Bugger all that. Use your heart. Use your heart and your eyes, not spreadsheets, you know, all those stupid stats. Absolute crap. Oh, you're from Kansas City. Oh, no. It's not Bumfuck USA. I had a good old road trip there. Yeah, lovely girl on Tinder. Ah, the lovely Ginger. But I went to a really good club there called Knuckleheads and saw, who did I see there? The Reverend Horton Heat. And Knuckleheads was a fantastic bar, man. Fantastic. Loved it. That's the sort of place I see and you think there's no bloody way on earth it would get planning permission in a safe place like Australia with his nanny rules. But yeah, if anyone's ever in Kansas City, bit off the beaten track, but Knuckleheads is the place to go. Fantastic atmosphere. Drewzilla's actually English. Bugger knows how does anyone know where we're going to end up in life? You know, I couldn't have been further from home really, but you know, world's a small place these days. It's not like back in the 70s when like going abroad was something weird and exotic, and it was usually just going to France on a ferry to fill up a case full of duty free. Oh, duty free will be back now, won't it? Of course. Oh, that's really well done, Brexit. I remember my dad used to make me because I was like maybe 5 or 6, as he was wheeling his clinky cases through. He would just get me to lie on top of them and pretend to be asleep. So I'm an accessory to tax evasion. Thanks, Dad. And brother, El Tel Cockerel, Jose's in the place. How's the old YouTube going, Jose? Keep at it, man. Just keep doing what you're doing. I like individuals on YouTube. I don't like it when everyone tries to do the same thing, you know. So I'm enjoying it, man. Michael Coleman is not a name I've not seen before, but I've got a brain like a box of ducks. So if they're not quacking, I don't remember things. Hope you're well. I am well. Thank you very much, Michael. Drewzilla, bloody hell, these wankers and their 5-minute intros. Get on with it, mate. Yeah, it's because I don't schedule it, and I'm using my iPhone at the moment. My PC's home in Sydney, so I don't have a shorter intro with my music on it. So I'm using this crappy one, and I figure if I'm not scheduling it, it'll take 5 minutes for people to come along. So that's just the way I do it, really. You know, I know it's a bit of a pain in the arse. Sometimes, like, I tune in the channels and any intro I find annoying, but I get why people do it. You know, it's good on the Irish Hotspur. You know, because we have a little chat beforehand, then he puts like a 5-minute intro, and I can go and drop Eric Dyer off at the pool, and you know, make myself nice and beautiful, get my makeup on, look professional. Psychedelic. yeah. Well, if you're talking about the Reverend Horton Heat, bit of psychobilly there. Bloody hell, man. Yeah, great stuff. Hi, George. I like the start of this one. This is going to be interesting. Drewzilla, okay. Peace-loving man, but you might bring out the inner beast in me. Got a bone to pick with you, Paul. Talking Rangers the other day, you failed to mention Richard Goff. I only had him a year, but what a defender. Oh, well, no, I'll take a point on that. No, that was a hell of a year, wasn't it? I think we got him from Aberdeen, and we needed a bit of shoring up in defence because Pleat had bloody pissed off Graham Roberts, hadn't he? Bloody hell. But no, Richard Goff. In fact, Richard Goff, like when I used to play football at school, Richard Goff was, I always used to try and play like him. I used to try and play like him, Steve Perryman, and Ozzy and Glenn Hoddle, and I was shit. I was total shit. But Richard Gough was really good in the air. Like a ball came anywhere near him, and he could just get his head on it. He was a great defender. It's a shame we only kept him from a year, but I think unless he was unsettled and wanted to go back to Scotland, that was when we were sort of transitioning into more of a selling club than keeping our good players. Irving Scholar had been in around about 4 or 5 years by then, and you could just see people were leaving out the door. Like Mickey Hazard left a couple of years, which was ridiculous, considering we got Glenn left at the end of '87. And I mean, who better to fill that Glenn Hoddle-shaped hole than Mickey Hazard? But we'd already sold him to Chelsea down the road. But no, Richard Gough, amazing defender, really good player. I think the only reason he doesn't get mentioned as much because he only had that 1 year with us, but he was a great captain. He was kind of the perfect bridge between the Steve Perryman era and then the Gary Mabbutt era. So, yeah, no, fair point, Drew, fair point. I can get my inner beast back under control now because, you know, it was a fair point. Steady as shark. G'day, Paul. G'day. Druzilla, hit the light gently. Just stroke it. Stroke it. Oh, David Clark, right. Okay. Mr. Lester. I like Vicarious. Fantastic. Saved with his feet when a goal looks certain. This guy comes up with unbelievable saves with hands and his feet just like Pat Jennings. Well, yeah, I've only seen a few clips of him, man. I you know, because it's hard to tell from clips because they're always going to show the good bits and not the shit bits. But there is that one where he's got his arms and legs all over the place, and I suppose that shows just how aware he is of where the ball is on the pitch and how good his reflexes are. And it will be nice to have a keeper that can do that because, like, you know, we had like Captain Flappy pushing the ball in his own goal for the last couple of seasons. You know, even Fraser Foster looked better. He didn't have quite the reflexes. So if we get a keeper with reflexes and can pass the ball out, which is the modern game, you know, modern game where the goalkeeper has to play with his feet. I mean, what's the world coming to, eh? You know, goalkeeper just used to boot it up the pitch. We'd win the second ball. That would be it, you know. But now we've got to play out from the back. At least underhands, though, playing out the back means it don't stay at the back for long. Not this horseshoe shit we've been seeing where they don't know what to do. And they just pass it to the person that's 5 foot away from them. Nice little hospital pass with like 10 attackers running. And oh, what? So Eric Dyer gets a big tick in his completed passes statistical column, but it's a shit pass because the next guy gets the ball, can't do fucking anything with it. But well, if you're getting me excited, David, with comments like that. Somehow I'm getting excited about this Vicario. I don't know anything about it. Maybe it's because maybe it's purely because I'm not seeing a lot of comments. Oh, fucking hell, no, we signed him. Why we signed a cheap keeper? It seems to be fairly positive. So you know, that's got to be a good thing. If I did this video yesterday, and I kind of get the feeling that we all want to pull in the same direction at the moment. You know, I know there's been divisions amongst the fans, and I'm not saying there's not, you know, valid reasons for that. You know, opinions have become very strong on, you know, ownership and things like that. But at the end of the day, we all just want the bloody team to win, don't we? And I think we've, you know, different people let their frustrations out in different ways. And you know, if we have a good season, I'm not saying the protests will finish or anything like that, but you know, I'll see less of the silly shit on Twitter. Basically, that's what I don't like. You know, people having a go at each other. You know, fighting amongst fight. You know, if you want to protest, that's cool. If you don't. You know, but don't start calling each other wankers and dickheads because at the end of the day, we all support Tottenham Hotspur, don't we? Which is the greatest football club in the world, and will soon be one of the greatest NFL clubs in the world. Over my dead grey bones, it will. I can't believe it. I can't believe that we're looking at having an NFL team or taking NFL more seriously. They've tried NFL in England before. I remember I've forgotten what it was, either the Bollocks Bowl or something, the Cockney Bowl. Hey, because Americans don't know much about England, do they? The Queen's Bowl. The London Monarchs. Clive Allen played for them for a season, but no one gave a shit. No one watched it because it's not our thing, is it? It's not in our blood. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just a game I don't watch because it's shit. Too many adverts. Adverts do my head in. It's always, people putting their hand in your pocket every 5 minutes. Even when you're watching this on YouTube, every 5 minutes you have some, shave your balls, or I don't know, bet with mates. That's the big one that's in Australia at the moment. Every advert is this thing that bet with mates. It's like, fuck off. Me and my mates don't bet. Drusilla, I'm not surprised Knuckleheads is still there. When was I there? I was there 2016. And it's a bit rough and ready, but I kind of liked it. And everyone just had a really good time there. Really good time. It was really good fun. Just messaging you, mate. Love the channel. Thanks, man. No worries. Anyone can mess with me as much as I want. I'm a big boy. I can take it. And if people go over the line now and then, which has only happened once, then off they go. There's no warnings. There's no red cards. You're just gone. But you have to be a special kind of knobhead to do that. Disagreeing with me is perfectly fine. Drop Dyer off at the pool. Yeah. Well, he needs to get fitter, doesn't he? That's what I meant. No, it's disgusting. No, I meant I was dropping him off at the pool here to do a few laps. Please, it's a family channel. David Clark, the main downside to Ange's system of triangle possession, processing the ball down the field, is that most of our team are like lousy passes who can't keep possession, so we need to work in a new set of players. You might have hit amongst the tiny flaw in Ange's system. It does rely on people that can actually play football, which I think we do have enough, not enough of, but we have some of. I need to sit up higher so I can sit above the comments. All right, so I've just woken up and I've talked too much and I'm knacking myself out, so hang on. I reckon, well, if we get this Vicario in, that sorts that bit out. Let's hope that Royale can continue to improve. I know he's spending more of his own money on training, which is, that's a really good attitude. Fair play to him for spending his own time and money and effort to make himself into a good player and be successful. That's nice to see, isn't it? And he overcame a lot of stick because, let's face it, he was a bit shit. But that's when we were making play up the pitch and cross balls, and it's really hard to cross a ball, isn't it? For a tough old area, hitting a box that's like 18 yards by, what was it, 18 by 32? I don't know. Forgotten what the dimensions of the things. I'm getting all metric and imperialed out. But it's a big old area you got to hit, and he couldn't do it. But as a defender, not bad. And then we got Romero. He's all right. Then we've got a bit of a question mark next to him. La player, I don't know. And then left back is a question mark for me as well, because I don't want to see Diddy Davies in there anymore. He gets skinned too much. But then the midfield, we got Pepe Matassar, who I keep on blowing his trumpet because I think he's a fantastic player. Bentancur, when he comes back from his injury, I'm sure he'll cut. I'm no doctor. I'm not a member of the Spurs medical department stapling up ligaments and things like that, whatever they do there. But ACL seem to be injuries that people do come back from quite well. I've done other sports like skiing, and I've seen people have ACL problems, and even though it is a long recovery process, when you come back, you come back just as good, as you were before. So I'm pretty hopeful for old Bentancur. Who else we got in midfield? A Basuma, we might see a new rejuvenated Basuma bossing around the midfield, which would be lovely to see. Skip and Højbjerg can piss off. And then up front, we've got the three people that scored like a Brazilian goals the year before. So, we're not a million miles away. That's all I'm saying. We're not a million miles away. With a little bit of little bit of baby bio and care and attention. And you know, I'm not expecting all this to be fixed in one window. I'm gonna be patient. You know, a couple of players here, a couple of players there, and before you know it, we might have a decent team. Well, we did have a fairly decent team 2 years ago. Well, you know, somehow. Jose Compañero, once I get my stride, I'll have you on as your star. Don't big me up like that, man. But yeah, anytime, man, anytime. Just flick me, tip me the wink, easy. I'm an internet whore. I'll go on anything if I'm awake. Michael Cohen bought Goff from Dundee. I thought it was Aberdeen. Okay, yeah, Dundee United. All right, and it was quality. Shame it was only a year. His missus wanted to go home. Yeah, I remember. I can't remember homesick, or he wanted to go back up to Scotland. Shame he went to the blue lot instead of the other lot. But you know, there we go. Oh, damn! I haven't got my hat on to take off. It's her raw. Make sure my hair is all nice. You know, sorry. Her Royal Highness Queen Ellie. Remember, Queen Ellie comes from wide, diverse stock. None of these inbred fat fingers shit. She's from all over the world, is Queen Ellie. Hey, Paul, breaking news. The Queen is back in the chat supporting the brilliance of the Hotspur hippie. Oh, that's very kind of you, Ellie. Very kind. People should all pop along to THFC Till I Die. Very good channel. It's one of my favourites because they talk about the good old days a lot, you know, because there's a lot to whinge about these days. And I fixed my coffee problem this morning. It's got Putin on it. Brilliant. I fixed my coffee cup and my mate's got a Putin mug. Brilliant. Thanks, mate. But it's a mug, so I can't believe it's got Putin mug. Oh, dear. It's from Russia. But it's a big, healthy serving size of coffee, man-sized coffee, so I can keep drinking it for a bit. Forgot what I was bloody talking about now. What was I don't know. Let's just move on. Anyway, it's all waffle. Actually, you know, whenever I post videos, I do read the comments. I don't really interact with them much because I do find it a little bit overwhelming sometimes, just a personal thing. But I do read them and I do appreciate them. And some of the comments I just find baffling. Like someone said yesterday, oh, it was a bit waffly, that one. Well, I mean, you know, that's what you're going to get, isn't it? All I do is turn the camera on and talk bollocks for 5 or 10 minutes, so it's going to be waffle. But it was a very nice spot I was in yesterday called Sunset Lookout. They're a very literal people, the Australian people. So you could bet your ass that if it's called Sunset Rock, you can see the sunset from there. And I did, and it was lovely. And today I might be going out for a bit of a trip with some mates to a place called Oberon. Maybe a bit further out, don't know. I was going to go to a place called Tottenham, but it is far away, so I'll wait till I get my licence back because I did a 5 over in a school zone, so I can't drive for 3 months. Thanks, New South Wales government. So it's a bit of a drive. So if I'm going to do a long drive like that, I like to be able to share the driving with someone I'm with, and but probably in the next few months, hopefully I'll be taking a trip out to Tottenham, New South Wales, which is geographically right in the middle of New South Wales, i.e. it's in the middle of bloody nowhere. I rang them up, said, oh, hello, oh, do you have accommodation? Yeah. Oh, you know, oh, I'm a Tottenham fan. Who? I've never even heard of Tottenham Hotspur, you know. So be a fun trip though. Ian Barron. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone watching, hope you're well. Straight the lights. Oh, thank you for spruiking me up. Saves me doing it because I don't like doing it. You know, don't like doing it. Big up, Tom. Big up. G'day, Tom. How you going? A few beers there as well. Luke Chapman, Northampton fan. Okay, I don't think we've got any bad blood. Have we got any bad blood? Did they like beat us in 1951 or something? I don't know. I can't recall any tales of woe or sorrow between Northampton Town and Tottenham. So you're more than welcome here. But if you do dig up old wounds, Andrew Seymour. Evening, everyone. Hope all is good. And then people are talking to each other. Here we go. Tom81, a man after my own heart. I hate playing out from the back. No good for our back line. Well, I don't know. It's just overrated, I reckon. Things come and go. They go in cycles. Give it 5 or 10 years, and there'll be this brand new, exciting brand of football where the keeper just hoops it to the halfway line, and it's all about who wins the first and second ball, and it'd be like revolutionary. Oh shit, never thought of this before. But at the moment, we're in this bit where you just roll it out to your centre half, and he has a look around, and but well. That's what happens. Kelly, leadership. If the shit bits are as bad as the crap bits and not as bad as the diabolical bits, then he'll be one hell of a keeper. Yeah, that's. I would have to draw that out on a piece of paper and work out exactly what you're saying. But I think I get what you're saying. If the shit bits are not as bad as the crap bits, not quite as bad as the diabolical bits, he'd be one hell of a keeper. Well, it'll be an improvement on old Captain Flappy, won't he? And I am harsh on Hugo because I don't really have that attachment to him. I know a lot of Spurs fans do because he was around for 11 years and he was our captain. But I don't know. I never really had that thing with him. And I was very happy when he won the World Cup. That was a hell of an achievement. But as a player, I never bonded with the guy. David Clark, I was on a Spurs podcast today, and a lady said, I don't like Vicario. He doesn't catch the ball. But his defence were worse than Spurs, so he's always having to make unbelievable saves from close range. Okay. Well, that's the thing. You do need, and even Pat Jennings used to talk about this. Look, I'm going to have to go and blow my nose. I know I should have done it. Just give me a second. Oh, you all hung around. There we go. Thank you. Oh, trousers are falling down as well. What a hobo. I saw an interview with Pat Jennings. Can't remember where it was. May have been a talk he did on the Spurs show. It might have been something else. But he talked about the importance of the centre halves. Who were the centre halves in front of Jennings? God, I wouldn't know off the top of my head. I'm a bit cloudy this morning. But he said that they were so important and they made him look good because, if he couldn't catch the ball, which he often did with one great big bloody hand, then his defenders were always there to back him up and they were always ready for the loose ball. And that's another thing that our defenders are crap at. Not only have they got no idea what a football is, they don't know where it is, and they can't see more. They can't see into the future. When a player becomes good and they can read the game, they can. It's like they can see 10 seconds into the future. So if someone's by the time someone's lining up for a shot, they're already positioning themselves where if the keeper deflects it or spills it, they're ready to get it. And our centre halves are so far off being able to do that at the moment. It's criminal. Steady as shark. I've been getting so excited about Ange. Yes, man. Excellent. And the transfer news that I finally bought Spurs membership. Wow. Okie dokie. Yeah, I haven't bought one for years, really, because I've got a thing about giving this lot money, actually. So, when I'm talking about people protesting or not, I just, and I want to buy a new shirt because I've got one from 2013 and I've got one from 1999. I used to have loads before that, but I lost custody of them. Someone bought them in a garage sale that I wasn't invited to. But I would like to have a nice new Spurs shirt. I probably will break my Spurs embargo at some stage because I don't mind the new kit. Why the red lettering, man? Why do they do the red lettering? No, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it when it's got bloody red on it. It's not going to happen. The Aussie days are coming back. Or maybe, I enjoyed the Aussie days, really. that was kind of right at the tail end of just before I left England. So I kind of missed out on the joy of the Jerry Francis years and whatnot. But Ozzy kind of left me with a smile on my face. And it's going to be a bit like that, I think. But I think we're gonna have a defence as well. But I love Ozzy. Ozzy's fantastic. Now, I saw on Twitter it was someone's birthday. It's Keith Birkinshaw's birthday, and I don't know. I've got a feeling that maybe Ange has had a little quiet word in the Spurs Twitter in their shell likes, saying, "Listen, you assholes." Instead of just showing clips of Eric Dyer falling off an exercise bike and rolling on a sponge sausage, why don't we blow the trumpet a bit for some of our old lags, our old boys, and the stuff they've done? So there was a really nice. I thought they did a really good job on when they put the Tottenham clock back, which I can't remember. I can't remember the Tottenham clock. It's weird. I know I should, but I just can't. They did a nice write-up on that, and they did a nice little thing on Keith Birkinshaw. And Ozzy Ardiles was tweeted as well, saying what a great manager he was. So, it's nice to see. We can't forget our history. That's part of football. Otherwise, it's just a game, isn't it? When you bring history in, it becomes more of a way of life. The Aussie days are coming back in more ways than one. Well, let's hope we get the goals and not let in so many. David Clark from Leicester. Raw doesn't need a ball to train with because plays them no-look balls that he misses. Yeah, I know, no-look balls. I did see one the other day. Oh no, but it's rugby league. It's a totally different sport. As New South Wales got smashed by Queensland in the state of origin. It was pathetic. But what can you do? But no look balls. I mean, looking to where the ball's going. Are you really, going to lose out by giving someone a millisecond by looking? I mean, you don't even have to look directly where you're kicking it, just as long as it's in your field of vision. But just looking over there and kicking that way ain't going to bloody work, is it? Dave Clark, being positive here. Yes, we will see the best of Basuma next season because he is class. He is, man. I agree. I was so excited when we signed him because... And I keep saying this, I only really see players when Tottenham play them. It's not very often I watch other matches. But those two games where Basuma was playing for Brighton, he was the boss. He was the boss by a mile. And so when we signed him, I thought, bloody hell, we're getting a good player here. Wasn't too expensive. Always seemed to put a good shift in, the two times I saw him. And he's been a bit unlucky this year, isn't he? I don't know, he's probably had his he could be creative, who knows? But maybe he was being asked to do something he wasn't used to. He had injuries, unfortunately. But I think we started seeing a little bit of him when Ryan Mason was in charge. So I think there is definitely a player in there. And if there is a player. We know there's a player in there. I'm sure Ange is going to get the best out of him. That's just the way it works. Starting to get a position to get back. You're back on the Euros now. I've done the crime. I've got to serve the time, unfortunately. So yeah, unfortunately, been a bit rough, but I'm getting through it. It'll be all right. I've every day is another day gone. I'll be back on the roads before we know it, causing mayhem, avoiding all the other wankers on the road. Sydney drivers, man. Sydney drivers. There's no we're all in this together kind of esprit de corps on Sydney roads. It's all, I'm not fucking, I'm not, you indicate to change lanes and a car will floor it just to not let you in. That's what Sydney's like. Big up, Paul, mate. Glad you didn't have any bunyip issues out in the bush. No. I might have heard one, but I didn't come across one. That's always what happens with the bunyips. People sort of claim to hear them now and then. It's like Bigfoot. There's probably a blurry blurry bit of footage of someone wearing furry pajamas running around or something, pretending to be a bunyip. But I think I heard one. I'm pretty sure I heard one. Such beautiful scenery you've been in recently. Yes, the Blue Mountain. There's a lot of even in Sydney, there's a lot of good scenery, except it's all stuffed up with concrete and rich arseholes. But once you get past that, there is a lot of good scenery. A lot of it's not like hilly like England is. So I do miss like green hills. Although you do get them in Tasmania. Tasmania does remind me a lot of English countryside, and it's cooler down there, a bit more like English weather. But I love the mountains really. I haven't been skiing for a couple of years because of COVID lockdowns and all that. But don't think I'll get down this year, but definitely next year I'm going to go hit the slopes again. Feels like Angie's making his presence day by day. Well, and he hasn't even started yet. This is the thing, isn't it? I don't know. I think there's something about the guy. I've been saying it for months, and he's definitely not letting me down. Definitely not letting me down. What's the day? What's the date today? 24th in Australia anyway. So, welcome to the future. It's Saturday here. And Saturday's going to be all right. For those of you who are still in Friday and thinking, bloody hell, is Saturday going to be all right? Is it going to be a bit shit? Nah, Saturday's really cool. I'll just check for kangaroos. Bloody fuckers. Bloody fuckers. Isn't there a kangaroo when you want them? Because I would love to put one on stream and show you, and they do hop around. I haven't been out there to check for kangaroo shit yet. But yeah, there's lots of great scenery around, and Angie's having an effect. So he's going to start 1 week from today, plus a few hours. I don't think he's going to be, he's Australian, but he's going to be working on UK time. He's a versatile man. He's not hardwired into Sydney, whatever we call it here. What do we call it? Sydney clock time? I don't know. But it's only a week away. Only a week away, and I think I just can't wait for his first press conference, man. It's gonna be killer, absolutely killer. I did see someone put a tweet up, which I did retweet it. So there's my Twitter handle. So I did retweet it, and it was a short interview a guy did with Ange Postecoglou, and I think he was with it was when he was managing Yokohama Marinos. It was only a couple of minutes, but it tells you all you need to know about Ange. He wants to come to places, leave his mark. Leave his mark in a good way, and that's what I hope he does at Tottenham. David will know Northampton is right by Leicester. Oh, I don't know. Or the Snotspur hippie. It's cold, man. It's cold. It's like 4 degrees. So that's really cold for here, Australia. I've become all soft. For the first couple of years I was here, I could walk around in t-shirts and shorts all year round. But now, it's 15 degrees. I've got to put 5 layers on. I've softened up. Dave Clark, dustbin lid is more proactive than at least it could deflect the ball, can't it? It's got a the dustbin lid isn't going to run away with his arms behind his back, side on. I take it you're talking about a face-on dustbin lid like this. I mean, look at the coverage that gives you. Eric Dyer makes himself as thin as possible. He could fall down a drain grate the way he defends. Lazy 8, I heard some talk about Angie's tactics being offensively strong but defensively suspect. As a result, Highline, etc. Would a Romero, Vicario, and dare say Tapsoba? Oh, that's the other person I put in the headline, wasn't it? Because we're looking at him as well. Solve that. Well, all you got to do is look at his league table results. You can be offensively strong and not be total shit at the back. Celtic last year scored 107 goals. It was over 100. They let in 30, 40 odd. Their goal difference was plus 80. I'll take that any day. I think there's a similar story at Brisbane Roar, Yokohama. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's not just a question of, we've got to score more goals than we let in. We are going to score lots of goals. That's what's going to happen. And we're going to let in less than last year. We can't let any more in than last year. 63 of the buggers. I mean, it's nearly 2 goals a game. 2 goals a game for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is disgusting. It's outrageous. Maybe that was the thing that triggered off the master statistician. He's looking at his tables. And what's this column here? Goals against. I've not seen this one before. 63. I don't think that looks good. Let's buy some defenders. We haven't been doing it for 4 years since Jan and Toby went. No, I don't know. No, Kickstarter. I'll buy one when I. But I'll buy one I'll buy one myself when there's no bloody red shit on it. David Clark, I cancelled my One Hotspur membership, and within 2 hours, Levy sent me an email warning me that I would lose my place in the queue for a season ticket and will never get it back. I concur. What an arse. I mean, that's all part of this automated bloody world we live in, though, isn't it? Where, it's not even a person sending you that. There's something that's reading for certain things or certain conditions, or if you cancel your membership, and it just goes, here's an email trying to scare the shit out of you. And it's not cool. Not cool. That's the world. Born to lose. Nice to see you, man. G'day, Paul and Alter in the chat. Got good vibes about Vicario. This is what I'm saying. Everybody's got bloody good vibes about him. This is I'm pleasantly surprised by it. Maybe you lot have all been Vicario freaks and followed him and know what he's doing. I've not really heard of the guy. I've seen him much, but even I've got good vibes about him. I just got that feeling, that irrational feeling of hope that Tottenham squash every year, but not with Ange in charge. Ange is going to get us places. Just you wait. Reminds me in style of De Gea, saves a few with his feet and legs. Well, got to use your whole body, haven't you? Hey, it's Bobby K. Hello, Bobby K. How you going, man? 3 Spurs boys. Brilliant channel. I saw you put a video up the other day. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to, because it looked like you were doing something silly, and I like silly. David Clark, Conte strangled Basuma in his game. He didn't allow him any freedom to be on his own. Isn't it weird how our football system can do that to players? I just find it odd that, I don't know, how do they do it? You're not allowed to go out of certain areas, or, I don't know. Maybe I'm just simple. Football's football. But it really did look like the shackles were on an awful lot of players last year. Like our front three, you don't go from being the best front three in the land to, well, they were still 5th best, I think. We still got the 5th most goals, but half of them was Harry Kane. I see some twat in some paper saying Harry Kane should write a strong letter to Levy saying he wants to leave. What if he don't want to bloody leave? What if you don't want to go? It's like the whole world wants us to sell Harry Kane. They just can't stand Harry Kane being at Tottenham Hotspur. And, I'm no conspiracy theorist, apart from the, landing on the moon. Maybe I'm suspect about it. No, of course we did. In fact, down the road is Parkes Radio Telescope, where they did a bit of tracking for the old lunar module shit. So one day I want to get out there. But it really, press, just fuck off. Mike, go and write some bloody news. Do some journalism and investigation. Stop trying to tell Tottenham to sell our best player. Just do one. It's always the same, isn't it? I'm only the same shit with Glenn Hoddle. Oh, Glenn Hoddle's got to, go and fucking go to Europe to do his thing and all that. Bloody hell, mate. Leave us alone. Richo 63. We're in Oz at the moment. At the moment, I'm in the Blue Mountains in a secret mountain hideaway location, but I live in Sydney. Daniela Zito, good evening. Good evening. People talking to each other. Lazy 801. I'm sure the question has been asked before, Paul, but is there any chance of you getting to the match in Perth, mate? My mum moved to Perth, west of England, from the west of England when she was 8 years old. Yeah, I looked into it. It's just, it's not doable for me at the moment. I mean, it's a long way away. It's so. I'm guessing off the top of my head, Sydney to Perth would be like going from, probably England to Cairo or somewhere like that. It's a long bloody way. So I worked it out. Like the return flight is $700, need a hotel, need the tickets. It's probably $1,500, and I can't be asked. Can't be asked, and I'll be knackered because it's like a 5-hour overnight flight as well. So, and the time zone's three hours difference. So I get quite sensitive to, like, even when the clocks change an hour, it fucks me up for a week. So 3 hours, I'll just be watching, 2 footballs buzzing around the pitch, and it's pre-match friendly. It's against West Ham. No, I'm not really interested. David Clark, unless I get 10 million subscribers now, I can start milking the YouTube cow a bit, and then I will be saying shave your balls, and you can't watch something on Netflix. Well, get a VPN and you can watch fucking anything. Dubious legality, but somehow we can advertise it. So unless that happens. David Clark, it's an interesting point because I did look at this myself, David. I always look at a goalkeeper's height. For a keeper who's 6'5", he moves off his planted foot at great speed. Yes, it's one of the first things I look at in when I'm looking at stats is how tall is a defender or a goalkeeper. And I did see, was he 6'5" or 6'6"? Was he 195? So it's 6'5". And I don't really know why I pay much attention to that because Pat Jennings was only 6'1", I think he is, and he looked like a man mountain. So but I don't know. Height's got to be good, isn't it? It's got to be good. But there's always an exception to every rule, isn't there? Trust Joel Bird more than these bloody sports journalists. Yeah, I know they're just toe rags, aren't they? And you know what? There's a particular breed of sports journalists. I can't give you any names because I don't watch them closely enough, but they're the ones that they'll sit there and they'll say things. How can I put this? How can I explain this well? So if they're talking about like Harry Kane, they'll say things like, well, and Harry Kane will be thinking, will I go? Will I stay? Harry Kane will be, and Harry Kane will be wanting to do this. It's like they're trying to tell you what's inside someone's head. And as soon as I hear a journalist do that, then all I think is, no. This is all about you, isn't it? This is about you more than them because they're just projecting themselves. And I think the best journalists are the ones that kind of keep themselves out of it or just, drop in a bit of themselves here and there. Like, I actually quite like Jim White on Talk Sport. He's a Rangers fan, but we'll let him go that one. But he's, he knows when to move a discussion on. But it's very rarely I see Jim White pontificating. I see a lot of other journalists do that, and that's not journalism. When you're just writing shit that you think instead of reporting what you've seen and experienced and putting it down on an imperial typewriter or a bit of Pitman shorthand over the phone. Harry Kane to say at Spurs, stop. All that sort of shit. There's too much personality. It's the same in news journalism and things like that. I see stories written and they just write about themselves. I don't give a fuck who you are. This is some random person on the planet. I love you because you're a human being, but I'm not really that interested. This is not why I read the news or journalism. The rare times I do, it's like I just want to, have a look out the proverbial window and see what's going on. And if all I'm doing with having a look out the proverbial window is staring into your deep, soulless eyes, I'm not learning anything, am I? Tom 81, there's always been a bias against their club. Yeah, I mean, I do get that feeling, maybe not so much in the early '80s. I can't, but then I was like 10, so what would I know then? But definitely in recent years. I mean, no one gets more stick. I mean, why doesn't Aston Villa get a load of shit for not winning much? Have they won much I mean, they won the European Cup, which is a big one. What was it, 82, 83, something like that. So, but you could say Aston Villa is a huge club in England, massive club, Aston Villa, and they've done fuck all. So why don't they get as much stick as Tottenham? I don't get it. I mean, I've got theories about it, but that's, this is a football channel. Daniela Zito says, Vicario's medical is on Sunday, so I'm assuming you get announced on Sunday. Yeah, okay, well, that's nice, eh? So that's a couple of days away for me yet. I'll probably wake up, bright and bushy, Monday morning, all the birds will be tweeting, and I'll tweet my Twitter feed, and there he'll be in it with a Spurs jersey. Hopefully a nice, proper goalkeeper green one instead of the stupid colours they wear these days. Green jersey, number 1. That's it. Daniela Zito, apparently we're determined for Maddison. I really do hope we get him. Well, that's why I put that in the title, because it seems to be more on. The flow in the ether seems to be that we might actually sign him. And and loads of people are excited about it. I'm a bit hit and miss because I just haven't seen it enough. But even I am kind of catching the wave of excitement because a lot of people. Well, when I say a lot of people, I don't mean journalists. A lot of Spurs fans seem to be saying that he's kind of the missing thing, like the Ericsson kind of replacement that we never bothered replacing. And if that's the case, then I can't argue with that. I'm all for it. It definitely looks like Newcastle. Well, it seems to be that Newcastle are backing out. I heard something that they're coming up against FFP rules, so they've blown their wad. They've blown their wad too early. Oh dear me, unfortunate. Maybe Newcastle might not have a good year if they can't spend a lot of money. Maybe this is as good as they get. Maybe they've got to wait a couple of years before all the dodgy sponsorship deals come in before they can start spending a bit more money. That's our chance, isn't it? Tapsoba is a defender I love at Tottenham. Apparently personal terms are being discussed. That's what I saw. I haven't really looked into him. I don't know if I've quite got the technology to bring his stats up because I'm doing this on the iPhone again because I've forgotten my mate's password on his laptop again. Box of ducks. But I mean, all he's got to do, he's going to be better than 6.86, hasn't he? Because that's Eric Dyer's sofa score. Woo, I've skipped forward loads here. What's happened here? David Clark because Forster, who is a familiar height, is nowhere near as quick as Vicario. No, he's not quick. That's true. And and Vicario, I was going back to your point earlier there, Dave. I was surprised to see he was 6'5" because he does look like a cat being thrown through the air. Don't throw cats. Richo, you got they're talking to each other. Watched the podcast, which was the Athletic, who was supposed to be A1 sources. Yeah, they were talking absolute crap. Yeah, the only time I really hear any Athletic people are on Danny Kelly's View from the Lane. That's about it. I don't subscribe to the Athletic. So I just get it all secondhand. When they're on Danny Kelly, they seem to be okay. But I suppose when you've got it's just like me doing this whatever you call what I'm doing now. There's fuck all happening, so you just got to waffle a bit, haven't you? Notice on Sky and Talk Sport, always a gooner commentating on our games. Yeah, I mean, oh dear. I was seeing this last night. Like if South Korea wanted to reunite with North Korea, all they'd have to do is fly a few planes, spy planes over, just broadcasting on full volume Martin Keown, just 24 hours a day of Martin Keown talking, and they just fall asleep. Then you just walk in and take over. Martin Keown is the most boring ass gooner. I think he's so one-sided. Like, there's a couple. Ray Parlour. I was actually surprised once when, YouTube was doing its loop thing, and someone was saying something, and I thought, oh, I don't mind the cut of this guy's jib. He seems all right. And then, to my horror, I saw it was Ray Parlour, and I thought, oh fuck, maybe he's not too bad. So, some ex-players are all right, I suppose, but Martin Keown, God, horrible. Lazy Eight. Pat Jennings was a mountain back then. Everyone was smaller. Okay. So I forgot. As we go back in time, we're all short asses. That might be true. There's that old pub in England, the Royal Standard of England. It's one of the pubs that's got one of the claims to being the oldest pub in England. I think it's like 900 AD, and all the See, I'm mentally about 2 inches shorter than I actually am, so I'm always banging my head on things. Pain in the ass. Dave Clark, I know you scouts at Leicester City, and take it from me, there have been no bids for Maddison or Barnes, or both together. It's bullshit, and Maddison's girlfriend is expecting twins and she wants London. Well, there you go. I mean, that's as rock solid concrete evidence as anything I've heard, David. So there's not even a hello Newcastle United here, nothing. But yeah, the old wife factor. She wants to live in London. Oh well, Barnes. A dual bid for Maddison and Barnes. We've got to get rid of some players, though, man. It's nice to bring players in, but we've got so much shit to get rid of. Tapsoba is, says Danielle Azedo, is really good in the air, physical, which is what we really need in defence. Yeah, absolutely we do. We've just got a bunch of vampires scared of crosses. Old joke, but always a winner. And you reckon a Tapsoba will thrive in a Tottenham kit? See, there's so much good feeling. So much good feeling. David Clark, Danny Kelly is a top geezer. Yeah, I love that. I love Danny Kelly. And he was right on the money now, with the benefit of hindsight. He was right on the money about Conte all along. I just got carried away, and, I want to support a manager, want us to win. And, I think a way to do that is to support the manager. But, Danny Kelly was saying it before. I heard many Spurs fans say that get rid of him, he doesn't want to be here. And he was right. And Danny Kelly, as I heard him describe himself, as an old hippie. So I like that. And he talked about energy and stuff, which is cool. I like Danny Kelly. He's a good old affable Spurs fan. Known as a well-balanced bloke, he is the same size chip on both shoulders. Yeah. Tapsoba, I don't think we'll get him because Levy are fanny about and Liverpool are sniffing around. Is that the case? Is it? Because it seems to be. I don't know. When we're being linked with players, we're not really in battles. I mean, we were in a battle with Raya between us and Brentford, which I don't think counts. We've got Vicario, since no one was looking at him. Tapsoba. Liverpool already sniffing about. Liverpool have got a bit of a rebuild job, I don't know. Like I'm saying, top four is what I hate the expression top four, but everyone says it. Top 4 or 5. It's going to be top 5, isn't it? Top 5. I think it's wide open. I think it's a lot wider opener than people are thinking. I think everyone's expecting Chelsea and Liverpool to come good, and I'm not convinced that either will. But okay, sorry, cooking's so slow on the typing. Oh well, don't mix and match, man. Food's more important than. I know you're here. Just get some food in your belly, man. Levy is in a battle with himself. That would be fun to watch. I'd get some pay-per-view if it was an all-star boxing match of Daniel Levy punching the crap out of himself. Don't even need two of them, just him punching himself in the face. That'd be quite entertaining. I think him against Joe Lewis would be a one-sided affair, wouldn't it? Or would it? I don't know. Anyway, look, it's. We've got a few more comments here. Let's get through them. What has Danny Kelly said about Ange? He's getting optimistic about him. He hasn't done a podcast for a bit though, so I think the last podcast was maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't exactly remember much about what he was saying about Ange. I think early on he was sceptical because we were all on the Arnie slot, or you all were. You were all on the Arnie slot, Nagelsmann Express. So I think he was a bit sceptical then. But I can't remember. I'd have to go and listen to it, you know. But yeah, View from the Lane. I really enjoy that podcast. One of my favourites. Good day, sir. All right. Well, on that bombshell, I'm going to go get some breakfast because I'm bloody starving, man. Bloody starving, and I might get out and about today. And thanks for hanging around because it's nice when nothing's. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Here's one more. Do you think Ange might get a crack at Sessegnon? I don't care. Sessegnon. I mean, okay, let's be kind to the guy. It looked like his head had gone, didn't it? It really looked like his head has gone. So maybe if he can get his head screwed back on, maybe he can play. And I do remember when Conte picked him over Reguilon, I thought that was the right decision. But what do I know about football? But I mean, he was crap, wasn't he? He couldn't defend. He couldn't run with the ball. It's like basic ball control, you know. This is what frustrates me about a lot of football these days, is that a lot of players just can't do the sodding basics. How many times last year did we see the first touch being like so heavy? There's no deftness. There's no cushioning the ball so that when it bounces off your foot, it doesn't go 50 yards up the fucking pitch. Ball control, simple passing, putting it at someone's feet. That seems to be like a rare art these days. Dribbling past someone, you don't see that in the modern game. But as for Sessegnon, I'm doubtful, man. But if it was a psychological thing, maybe he was just really fucked by Conte. Maybe he can be salvaged too. Who knows? I got nothing against him personally, except he played shit for us. That's what he did. 10th time a charm. Yeah, I mean, how many chances do you need? Have you seen that Miss Vicario sits next to Levy at home games? It's that board member who blocked Poch coming back. Yeah. Well, I'm glad Poch didn't come back myself. I take it you're not talking about the one who's giving old Levy a little bit of a gentle stroke when all the black balloons were going off. I think that was his missus. But you're talking about, was it Donna Cullen? She said this mysterious. There's too many mysterious, shadowy figures at Tottenham that don't know anything about football. I remember it was I saw one stream. Might have been Tottenham on tour. I think it might have been Brian Daigle. He went through the entire Tottenham board and what their qualifications and experience was. And it was actually it's the first time I'd heard it put so, because I'd not really looked into it myself. But it was absolutely shocking how little football experience is in our board. No football background at all. It's all business studies, law, political sciences, philosophy, marketing. There's absolutely nothing about football in there, and it is a disgrace. So it doesn't surprise me that we've got these bozos thinking that they're doing a good job when they just don't. They just don't understand the game. They don't understand anything about it. It's not in their blood. It's an art. It's not a science. Anyway. Wayne Bonner, great stream as always. Thanks very much. Angel Gusev says, "Go well. If he does, I'm all for it. Ange is the governor." Lazy. See, I was going to go, but there's more comments now. Doesn't fifth place Premier get Champions League next season? I haven't heard more about that lately. I think you're right, Lazy, because I think next year they're doing this bullshit rejigging of the whole thing to give even more chance to the big Real Madrids and Barcelonas and Man Cities as much of a bite of the cherry as possible. This poxy bloody league table where, what a load of crap it is. I mean, UEFA couldn't make it more obvious that they're just doing a money grab, and it used to be that these European trophies were like the icing on the cake, the pinnacle. And now they're becoming, I don't know, it's almost like the Premier League is becoming the qualifying round for the main competition, isn't it? And I don't like seeing that. I think every league in every country, you know, every country should be proud of their league and not just seen merely as a stepping stone to get in some wanky competition in Brussels, you know, or Geneva or wherever these boneheads convene. It's all a complete money grab. I think it's a shock. If I had my way, I would just go back to the way it was. Less fixtures, of course, because so that means less money. But maybe you wouldn't get so much far-arsing around in the FA Cup and League Cup, and so even some league matches fielding weaker teams. You know, you used to have the European Cup champions of every country, UEFA Cup second and third place teams with every country, Cup Winners' Cup, domestic trophy winners, and I think that was perfect the way it was. It meant something special. I mean, the idea that you could finish fifth in the Premier League or whatever league you're talking about, but it looks like Premier League because we've got this fucking coefficient, which is all geared towards, you know, keeping the big boys in the money. Really, it should be. It's not even. It should be a level playing field. Absolutely. You know, the idea that someone could finish fifth in the Premier League by a long way. I mean, let's face it, the gap between first and fifth is, you're talking about a good 20, 30 points some seasons in the Premier League, that team could have the audacity, the gall to then next year call themselves European champions by having a bit of an arsey jaw and a bit of luck here and there. I think it just demeans the whole thing. And the coefficient thing also dictates how much money each club gets. Like I remember, because Celtic got into the Champions League last year, because they had a low coefficient, they were getting less money than people that had done, you know, the same equivalency as, you know, the same, performed the same. Yet Celtic got less money because historically they don't do well in the Champions League. So all they're doing is they're giving the money to the teams that do well. So it's just, you know, going to exacerbate that rich poor divide, and I can't stand it. I think it's bonkers. Dave Clark, I trained for a Saturday local team. We used a tennis ball, kicking it against the target with a weaker foot. Yeah, these players are one-legged. These players are so specialised these days, aren't they? I mean, unless you're someone like, I don't know, Maradona was pretty good with one foot, but you know, it's like they might as well cut the other leg off. Cess get right. He be half the year. Je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais pas. Je ne comprends pas. Have a great day, Paul. Hitting the pillow. Nice place to hit, man. Nice place to hit. Pleasant dreams, Lazy 8. Dream of glory. Glory, Tottenham Hotspur. Dream of lifting the FA Cup yourself. That's a good one to have. Spurs under 21 now, says David Clark, are not relegated because the league has changed its format for the next. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You know, relegation. You know, when you bring in more protectionism, it just becomes franchise football. And I've said it before. That was my darkest day as a Spurs fan when we joined that Super League for 48 hours. I really thought I've got no club to support because that would have been it. I would not have supported Tottenham because what would I be supporting? A franchise in a closed-off competition. No FA Cup, no First Division or Premier League, no nothing. Just this stupid boys' club, and it doesn't matter where you finish. And that, for me, would have been just a step too far. I would have not been a Tottenham fan, unfortunately. But luckily, everyone kicked up a fuss and said, what a misguided move that was. It's amazing how these so-called rich businessmen, these clever people, didn't fucking see that coming, eh? Geniuses. They always go on about these genius businessmen, how smart they are. How did they not think that wouldn't happen, that every fan of all those clubs and every other club in the country would come together and just say, stick it up your arse? Geniuses, oh. What's that? Nob 1 EUK. Used to work with a non-exec director at Spurs who worked in a well-known investment bank who went on to work for HSBC at the top. Yeah, brilliant. We're a stepping stone for fucking bankers. Great. Bobby K, do you think 50 million on Maddison is smart money when centre back's priority? I'd rather see if Ange can be the man finally inspiring Ndombele and get something out of the kid. Has talent, just needs to kick in his ass. Look, I'm kind of here or there on Maddison, but I'm kind of being swayed by a lot of fans really liking the guy. If your question to me was, we only have $50 million, what do we spend it on? Then without doubt, centre backs. We can wait before we can start flaring up the rest of the pitch. If we bought Maddison now and then we did nothing else about our defence, I'd be really pissed off actually. And Ndombele, he's got a bit of baggage to overcome. He's got a lot of goodwill to get back with the fans. Sloping off the pitch at Morecambe, having a bit of a questionable attitude. The only thing that could be possible maybe is that, again, he is one of these players stifled. He's an attacking sort of player, and he's just been playing dog shit football at Tottenham because of the way we've been setting ourselves up. So, I'm open to it. I'm open to it. If Ange thinks he can get a tune out of Ndombele, when he puts him in the hypnotist chair and gets the old clock swinging in front of him and looks deep and dark into his soul to see if there is actually a player who wants to succeed and fight for the badge, then I'm all for it. I'll be full behind it, and if it works, it'd be great. But Maddison, if we sign him and no defenders, I'm not happy about that at all. I'd laugh my head off if Chelsea, I assume you're going to say, get relegated. Yeah, you see, I want Poch to do another tell-all book, squealing on all the Chelsea players. That's what I want to do, because that's where I think he started going downhill at Spurs. You don't write a tell-all book when you're managing a club. How much money do you need? My side of the story by Poch. Go fuck yourself. Get relegated. Do one. Night, Nick. Tapsoba from Leverkusen. Yeah, I think that's the one. And on that note, I think I will end it there. But, thanks for joining me, because it'd be pretty shit if no one watched, because I wouldn't have anything to talk about. So, peace and love and harmony and happiness to you all, except on the football pitch. That's where we do battle. And as always, come on, you Spurs. What's the fucking end button? There it is. Keeps moving. Hey.